when you created the application, you have any question with now you must be
Yeah.
frequent, I think. You can create multiple apps.
Yes.
All right. So we have created the app. So let's say, yeah, Rahul, you were saying
आज
something?
आप वो इनवॉइस के बारे में कुछ बताने वाले थे, वो इनवॉइस को
Yes.
कैसे.
So with as we are creating our new application, what's our requirement is we want to import invoice. Okay. So we want to create an invoice app. With that invoice app, if you guys remember, we were initially before creating the application, when we started this app creation, we discussed like we will have a invoice spreadsheet, and that invoice spreadsheet we will create an application to import that invoice spreadsheet in our application. Okay, so here what we did, we just created with this exercise, what we did, we created an application, and in that application we gave logo and all. And now what we have to create, we want to create an invoice. I mean, we want to create an invoice object through which we can just map this invoices. So I will just share you the spreadsheet, how our spreadsheet is looking. So let me share you guys my screen. Da, 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 da. Okay, so this is our spreadsheet. Okay, so this is how our invoices spreadsheet is looking. I will share the spreadsheet with you guys. So you can see the first column is invoice number. Okay, so this is what this is. This is an you can see this whole spreadsheet. We have this is what we will say it. We will say this particular row, if you will consider, we will say it as an invoice. So this is the invoice, and for this particular invoice, this column is considered as invoice number. Then we have this column which says like when this invoice got created, and then this column which says like what is the company for which we have created this invoice, and who was the individual person with whom, or the contact person in Salesforce. We say contact person or the individual, you can say, to whom you were in contact while creating this invoice. What is the status of invoice, whether it is paid or it is overdue. So we say paid like to which we have already paid. We say overdue to those invoices which is needs to be paid. It's already generated, but there was this timing, like it was supposed to be paid like with it was supposed to be paid within with 5 October suppose, but it is still not paid. So just after 5th, when it will be 6th October, it will be called as a overdue. So one of the invoice status is overdue. Then the tax. So when this invoice got created, how much tax, uh, the total tax which got uh, collected over this particular product. So this is our product. Okay, and for this product, this is the total. Okay, so this is the total price, we can say. So this is our particular invoice. So you can say like this is our invoice. And if you will check this is all invoices. Okay, this is the invoices. So invoices will have a multiple invoices. So you can here you can say we have multiple invoices. Likewise, we have these. So for this invoices, we have to create an object where we can maintain the data. Like if you'll see right now, where are we? Okay, so as we were talking about the invoices, if you will go into accounts, so this is one of the application accounts. Okay, so this particular application is inside skill advancement. So if you'll go into sales, you see there are these many tabs you can say, or the objects you can say. Okay, so these are objects or tab you can say, and these objects are tab coming under the sales application. So this is the application inside this. If you'll talk about the accounts, let's go into account. You can see like these are the accounts. Okay. So this is the list view of accounts. So you have all the accounts which is created. Okay. So these are the accounts. Yeah, Rahul, you're saying something?
No.
Okay. So we have to likewise here one account is there. We want to create for our application, which is Skill Advancement Academy. Okay, so here we want to create like, okay, so there is only these two tabs. Yeah, so this is the tab, this is the application which we created earlier. So here you can say there are multiple tabs. Okay, so in this is a tab or object, you can say whatever you want. So for this particular object, that this is the account. So what we want to create an invoice app. So so in the accounts, what we are maintaining multiple accounts. In invoice,
Hmm.
what we will do, we will be maintaining the invoices. Clear, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. So this is our invoice. Okay, so this is our invoice object. So this invoice object have invoice number. What I will do is I will, yeah, let's see. It is visible, right? Or it is little bit smaller for you.
No, it's visible.
Yeah, it is visible.
Okay. So when you will look on the sheet, you will see we have these columns. Okay. So for these columns, what we are doing is we will be creating objects. So what we will say, we will say invoice. Okay. So this is the invoice object which we will create. So let's see how our object looks. So our object will have invoice number. So this is the number. So the invoice object, we are just figuring out what are the fields our object will need. So this is the first field you can say. So this first field is a number, invoice number you can say. Then we have invoice date. Okay, so here I have created, but you guys can create even up also. Then we have this company. Okay, this is the company. Then we can create this individual. Okay, so this individual we can create. Then status also we can create, tax total. Okay. Okay, so here I think in this sheet you can say like number, individual, total, and tax, all we have created. Okay. So this invoice will have a relation with invoice product, right? This is the product. So invoice will have one invoice can have multiple products, right? So if you guys remember, when we went on to this schema builder and when we were seeing this, okay, so you see this one account can have multiple contacts. So this is one-to-many relationship, which you can see. Or if you just want to do this, contact, okay, and person will be contacts. Let's put it on contracts. Or here you go here. And this is our accounts. This is like so this account have this contacts. So let's say so you see one account have can when we are saying contacts, one account can have multiple contacts. And if you will go to contact one of the contact, you will see like where is the account? Yeah, you see it have one account will have this will have one only, right? So this is this is our account, and one account can have multiple contacts, but one contact can have only one account, right? So this is one-to-many relationship. Like so these fields will have some relationship between each other. So these are some standard fields which are having some relationship, like one account. So that how we can see from here. Okay, we can see that. So we have to figure out how our this will. Okay. So here you see one account can have a multiple contact. So this one, which is showing this three, where it's saying three, like it's three means this account can have a multiple, like one to many relationship that you can consider with this. So likewise, we are just figuring out objects which like fields and object and its relationship with respect to our invoice object. So this invoice object have invoice product. Okay, so when we are considering this invoice product, we will see like what is this invoice product. Okay, so whether there is any whether we'll have to create this invoice product, or there is already a standard object which we can use, or we have to create it. Okay, so this invoice product, when we are creating this invoice, let's say we have to create the invoice product object also for this activity. So this invoice product, we can say like it will have invoice. Okay, so like when you are seeing here, this you can say like in one invoice have a multiple invoice product, right? One to many relationship. Similar to here. Sorry. Similar to here, one account have multiple contacts. So what is happening? Like it can have a multiple that, but invoice product, when you'll see, it will have invoice like how it is here. Here we are saying, right, this contact have the account name. Okay. समझ में आ रहा है ना?
Yes, Rajat.
It is, we are just figuring out what will be the relation between our fields, which, so we have this sheet, and for, so what we are into designing phase. Okay, so we got this requirement, we got the requirement where we have Excel sheet, and that Excel sheet we want to import, and we want to manage the same Excel sheet or the similar kind of data in our Salesforce. So yeah, so what we have to do, we are into designing phase. We will see like how we will design our fields and objects and its relationship. So we will figure out, okay, so in this Excel sheet, we have a different columns. Like these are the columns which is involving this spreadsheet. So this spreadsheet have these many columns. So we have to we can see like, okay, so this is the invoice number. So this will be kind of number. Okay, so this field we by looking only we can figure out like, okay, this is kind of number or a string or the text which we can maintain. So this is what is happening. This is kind of invoice. It is starting with the invoice, and then it is what it is happening. It is increasing with one. Like the next invoice will be creating with the plus one. So this is, so you can see like, okay, this is that invoice number. Invoice date will be date field. Like when we were going, if you guys remember, when we were when we were going through this schema builder, we saw like we have date field also for some of the fields, like in the account, like this is the account. This is a contact. In the account contact, you can see like this, there is this birth date. So we know like Salesforce have field called date. So we can accommodate these values, invoice date values, into date field. So this will be of type date. Then this is our text. So if you guys remember, we were saying, okay, we have a field called text. So we can just limit like 40, 80, 90. We can see like what how much maximum number of text could be, like 120, let's say. We don't think like more than 120 character there will be a company name. Then we can create a field of text which will be 120 character. Then this individual. So individual is a person. Okay, or you can say contact. So invoice will have a relationship with the contact. Okay. Or this one also, you can say this company, you can say like account, right? We have account. This is like contact, and then status. You will have to create this object status. We'll see. Then we have a text. This is a number object. This is also number object, and likewise this is also there. So when you will go through our this, you can see like this is our invoice, and this is all its field. Okay, so this is company name, invoice date, total, which we are going to create, and this invoice a one to many relationship with the invoice product. Like one invoice can have a multiple products, and then when you will go, then what I was saying, like account. So account is nothing but company, because we have this company, right? So this company is nothing but a account. So this is this field is of type account. Let's go ahead. Okay. Then when you'll see this invoice, okay, this is a number, this is a company. Company is nothing but the account. So one invoice. So how many accounts will be there with one invoice? Can you guys guess?
One invoice company will be one, or other company for generating invoice with other company will have a multiple company also.
Yeah, but actually for one invoice, we will always
One
create an
company,
invoice for one company only, right?
one company, yes.
Yeah, so invoice will have, this company will have one to one relationship, you can say. Okay. Then we have a contact for that uh, particular invoice. Maybe we are connecting with the multiple contacts.
Multiple contracts, one to
Yeah,
one.
that can happen. Then is standard and what is custom object. Okay, so I think this one we did earlier, but we'll go ahead again. So let's go back again our setup. And let's go to okay. So when you'll here you can search for the objects, and once you will search the objects in the build section, you will find this create. In the create, you will have this object. So when you click on this, you will land onto this page. So from this page, you can create a custom object. So custom objects are the object which you will be creating based on your organization requirement. So for our organization requirement right now, we have this invoice object, right? So we are creating the invoice object. And for that invoice object, what we are doing is we have to create the custom object. So if you guys remember, like uh, we were working on we were just discussing earlier in one of the classes where we were discussing what is the custom object and what is the standard object. So we said like a standard object is some object which is already provided from our Salesforce. So they have created this object, and we will not have too much command on that. Like we cannot delete, we cannot uh, we can edit, but will not have the complete. You cannot just completely delete and everything. Okay, so suppose if we have to create any custom object is the one you can create. Okay, so you can just come here and you can just click on this custom object. So this is clear, right? What is custom object and what is
Yeah, standard one already like built by the company or given access. They will have a more company will have control on it. So users will not have access much control on this one.
yes. So this is how we can create the custom object. Okay. So as we are going to create uh, the custom object for our invoices, we will give the label name as invoice. Okay. Object name invoice. The plural label, like for this invoice, plural label will be invoices. Okay. Like it's giving you example also, like for
Account.
account will be accounts. Okay. Then uh, so this field will be shown to like, okay, so permission, what it's giving information to us is it's saying like permission for these objects are disabled for profiles, but you can enable object permission in permission set by editing custom profile. Okay, so we know like how to, if you remember, we know like how we can assign the permission to the objects. So we know like there are some profiles in Salesforce. From there, we can manage each setting. So we will see it later. All right. And also we know like this sales invoices are will be linked to customers. Okay. So that description, if you want, we can just give here. Like sales invoice linked to customers. So these invoices are sales invoice, and these invoices will be linked to customers. Okay, because we know like we have this the sales invoices are for this company and for this individual. So this company is nothing but an account. Okay, so account or customer, you can say. All right. Then we have context sensitive help setting. Open the standard salesforce.com and help and training window. When the standard cells, open the window using Visual Force page. I think maybe we can just go through this context sensitive help setting, because okay, so if you are just guessing like what is this context sensitive help setting. So on every page you have this help page, right? Here you see. So it is just asking you if you want to create for this particular object, what is the help page which you want. So that one you can just, so this one we can just keep it, otherwise in a window using Visual Force page. Then there is, I mean, you can create a help page if you want. So that one we will see if we want to create, but I don't think we will be covering that. So for this, like how to, we can create, like for every page we can create a help page. So it is that. So we'll just go with this. Then we have enter record name, label and format. Okay. So what is this? Enter record name, label and format. So what it's saying, the record name appears in the page layout, key list, related list, lookup, search result. Okay. So it is nothing but the label from which you will recognize this. Okay. So it is basically like, you can see this invoice number, right? So this invoice, you can say record name and label and format. So what is this record name? So every record we are, so this particular record, so this one should be unique. So we created, suppose this is a sales invoice. Okay, so this is a sales invoice, and you know, if you want to, you came in your Salesforce account and you know, like you have to fetch one of the invoices, okay, sales invoices. So you are maintaining it uniquely. Okay, so how you can think, like you are maintaining it with the invoice. Okay, INV. So if you'll just say number one, there are chances like this number one, when you'll search number one, there could be uh, lots of documents which will be created with the number one. But if you are creating your records, individual records, invoice one, let's say, then you know all the sales invoices, whichever you are creating with INV and then -1. So this is that only, which is just saying. So what is the name? What is the record name which you want to create? Okay, so here the record name is invoice number. Okay, so we can say this is the number. All right, and then what is the data type for this? This is the, we can say like auto number. We want it to generate, right? We just want it to get generated with. Yeah, we want it to, yeah, auto number. So once we click on this auto number, you see there is this option it's giving, like what is the format which it can give. So in our format, what we want is, we want INV, and we want it to start from number one. You can see our invoices getting started with INV-1. Okay, so I think we can give like this. Okay, this is clear, right?
Yes.
So, okay. So I'll tell you what is happening. So this is the invoice number. So the record. So what we are doing in the record name and the label and format. So this particular section, we have to decide like how you want to maintain your records uniqueness. Okay, so this is the record uniqueness. So this record uniqueness, how you will maintain? You will maintain into this one. So this record name, you can say like this record, this is the invoice number, and this invoice number is the auto number, like it will be generating, and its display format will be INV. Okay, I think we will have to give this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it will be starting with number one. So what is the meaning of this? Okay, this. So we said like INV, and then we said curly braces 0000. So we will say like our invoices number will go, can be can go till 4 digit. Okay.
4 digit, okay.
So that's what we have decided. If you think like it can go till 5 digit, you can give in the beginning. And then you want your invoices to be starting with the one. Okay. So this is what we are doing. Till here it's clear, right?
Yeah.
Right. What about you, Rahul? Rahul, you there?
I'm sorry, I was talking on mute.
Okay. So is it clear to you, Rahul? That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
Okay. So now what we have? Now this is the object classification. Okay. So we want this particular invoices can be shared, like one can share this invoice to each other. Okay. Also, so these are the, oh sorry, so this is the later feature. First we have to see this. So this is the optional feature. We can say like we can allow the reports, allow the activities onto this invoice number. We can track the field history. So some fields which we are creating, when it got created, when it got modified, those those details we can just shape. Also allow in chatter groups. So we can share this. So you may be chatting with external or internal employees. So if you want to share this invoice, particular invoice, and want to ask something, that you can do with this optional feature when you enable. So I'm just clicking all this, and then we have object classification. So when these settings are enabled, this object is classified as enterprise application object. When these settings are disabled, the object is classified as a light application object. So we'll just keep it enabled all these. It is basically saying like whether we want to allow it sharing or not, allow bulk API access. So bulk API access is something like um, one API can access multiple invoices. So there from the Salesforce, there are some APIs which are exposed to the external APIs. From there, we can just share the document. So there are chances like this. This is nothing but a CRM system. Okay, so there may be some organization is using some different application. Okay, and in that different application, they want the data and the details which is being used here in the Salesforce. Okay, so that can be exposed through the object classification, like how you want to classify, or so how you want to classify means how you want to give the permission of this object to other external world or anything. Okay. Then in the deployment status, we can say like it is a deployed. So deployment status, you guys have idea about deployment status? So whenever we are creating an object, okay, so there could be two things. One is whether it is in the progress. So one work you are doing, and that is
Rajat,
continuous.
just hold on for 2 minutes. I'm coming from washroom.
Sure,
Just
sure.
2 minutes.
Pradeep, so if you have any question for now, you can just pop up.
No way, as of now it is clear. Deployment, development, like anything which is in process, that is a development phase is going. Deployment
Yeah,
is complete and we are ready to deliver or something like that.
yes, it is that. So it is deployed means it is into working condition.
Working
We are
condition.
we are good with this object and we have launched it. In development means it will not be able, so it won't be able to. So these things will not be happening when it is in if it is not a deployed. So you cannot just do these things, allow sharing, bulk API access, because it is still in development
Under
phase.
process, yeah. Yeah, it is clear up to here.
तो आज ऑफिस है या नहीं है?
Yes, sir. Jadavia, you can continue.
Okay. So we were just discussing this deployment status. So this deployment status is one which you can say like whether it is a deployed or whether it is still into development. So if you can just stage your work, okay, you can like how you draft your email. It is like that. Like you can just if you keep in this, it will be just into development. So we'll go with the deployed because we are still learning into this. Then this is search. So what is the search status? So if this search is enabled, this will be searchable. So we can just search this document whenever we will pick file. So how the search system work is if like we are seeing invoice this one, right? So what happens like we have this invoice, this, then suppose if we have created one document. Okay. So our document is with now name this. So what our search system do? It just tokenize it based on the space, comma, hyphen. It just tokenize, and whenever you will just search with invoice or something, it will just search that document. So we clicked onto this allow search. Okay. Now we have this object creation option. So this is a one-time option. So we can add notes and attachment. Okay, whenever object is created, so we can do that. Also, if you'll click on this launch new custom tab widget after saving this custom object. Okay, so you will be able to. So suppose you created one object and you save it. So what it will do, it will just launch you the new custom object. So I'm just not selecting that, but you can just save it. Okay, this is how it should look. Let's summarize our object. This is the invoice, invoices, object name, invoices. We gave the description, context sensitive help setting. Yeah, standard. We will just have the standard help setting. Okay, the same help setting we will have for this object also. Then we created the record name and label format. Okay, then these are the optional features which we activated. And this one I can see the new feature, but it is not available with us. What is this? Indicate if this object is licensed by Salesforce and whether users require a permission. Set license. Right. This is some kind of licensing which you can do for this kind of object. So it is like you are creating your application, I think, and that application or the object, if you want to exposed to other word, you can just take a license with the Salesforce and you can start selling those. It is like, I think it is like that. Then we have the object classification and then deployment status, search status, and then object creation. Yeah, let's save it. So here we have created our invoice object. Okay, so here you can see all kind of settings that are set up when we created this custom object. Here you can see like custom fields and relationship. Okay, so this is still blank. We haven't, so while creating this object, we haven't defined any relationship or anything, right? We haven't defined it yet. So we have to define, which we were discussing earlier. So we will just define it. Also, you can see these are the standard field. Okay, some of the standard field invoice number. While creating the creating it, the first field which we gave is invoice number. Like how our invoices will be recognized, that field we gave it as a invoice number, and it was a auto number, if you guys remember. Apart from these are other standard fields which Salesforce create with all the object whichever you create, like when it is created by which user, when it got last modified, who is the owner, so those fields. It's clear, right, to you guys?
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
So have you guys created this along with me, or
No, we were seeing your screen. We didn't.
okay, so maybe you can just start
Yeah, we'll
creating.
create it. Uh, you can do one thing. You can share this link and we'll create it. And
Sorry,
once
Rahul.
you can share this YouTube link for this session and we'll
Okay.
do it. And once we have any difficulty, we can ask it tomorrow.
Okay, sure. So
So
you can
create
just,
custom object like where in the search box we will find, right?
Yeah,
Create
yeah. So what you have to do, you have to go to setup.
character.
custom.
In the setup, search for the objects.
Object. Custom object.
Okay. This is the build section. In the build section, you will see in the create, you will see the objects.
Objects.
So when you clicked on the objects, here you see this is my custom object, which is just popping up.
Okay. Yeah.
So here you'll have to create a new custom object
Mhm.
and then you will be able to see it. So I think we should hold here, because if we'll go forward, maybe you guys will be lagging. So I will just share the recordings. I will upload the video onto YouTube and will share the recordings. So tomorrow, maybe you guys be ready with this and then we will move forward. And if there is any difficulty, we will start with those difficulties and then move forward.
Sure.
If there is any question, maybe you can just ask.
Rajat, yeah, how much more hours left with this such class for Salesforce?
There is still a lot of things with this.
So at least, how more, at least, कितना बचा है और
I think at least 30 more days.
30 more days, no?
Yeah.
Okay.
30 or 35. I don't know. 30 minimum it will take, I think, to cover
If we are,
everything.
yeah, if we are regular, it will take at least 30 days.
Yeah, yeah. Anything
Rajiv, you
else?
have any questions?
No, as of now, good. We'll have some strategy. Yeah, like we'll discuss. I'll discuss with Rahul, and we'll see. Like we will discuss tomorrow with.
Like what?
Like I was actually thinking, we will be preparing with some, based on the interview questions, how what are the questions they ask in interview. So in that way, we would be learning. Like so, we will be focusing more on those areas in that.
Yeah.
So how what they ask, how they ask, and what we need to learn in this. Because we are getting what you are telling now, but we are not able to, giving more focused on it, like which area is more important, which is less. So in that way, we can at least उस पे ज्यादा फोकस्ड हो सकते हैं. वो थोड़ा कंसर्न था मेरा, वो मैं बोलना चाह रहा हूँ.
Okay,
ये
so
गेट्स ना.
actually
हाँ.
you have to be familiar with the platform. So the Salesforce platform,
हम्म.
the more you will use, the more you will get familiar with. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you are logging in, you are seeing the object. Okay, this is how you can create.
Mm-hmm.
So once you will be more familiar, no, you will be easily clear this certification. Okay, you'll be easily clear the certification, and it will be easy for you because you'll see most of the things will be related. Some things, okay, how to create. So if interviewers ask you how can you create an object, okay,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
so you can say like from the quick search menu, we can just go, we can
So it would be
type.
like, I mean, if that is a demo they used to ask, or I mean, we need to describe it over how we used to go step by step.
You can describe if it is a verbal interview, you can describe how you can do. So they can ask this also, what is how, if suppose we have to create, uh if suppose they can ask like if you are creating an object, and that object you have to create with auto number, and that auto number should start with any text, how you can do,
Mm-hmm.
like what we were doing right now.
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah.
So that you can say like, if you want to create any records with a particular string and the number, you can choose auto number, and then you can give a string text name and followed by hyphen. You can just give curly braces, and in that, if you are thinking like your records could go
Five
last
digits,
till
six
five
digits,
digit,
something like.
then yeah, you have to give 0000. Then
Mm-hmm.
they can ask you like, what all types of sandboxes you have created. So if you remember, like we one of the session we were seeing like what different type of sandboxes are available.
Yeah. And their life duration time and like refreshing time, something like that.
Yeah, so that was one thing. So there could be, so with every session you can just think like there could be multiple questions. Okay.
Yeah.
And once you will be ready, prepared, then only you will be able to, I mean, then when you will appear into interview, right? Then you will be able to, even if you will fail, you will be able to think like I could have answered.
Mm-hmm.
This is how it was supposed to be. Okay.
Okay.
Familiar with platform is most important. Yeah, here actually we have to practice more and more.
So yeah, so just every day just log in into the Salesforce platform and see what is happening, what is this. And also, when we have the recordings, right? Go through a previous recording. If there is a go through the previous slides, whatever we have discussed, and from those slides, if there is any question, you can just shoot, and then we will just discuss that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
ठीक है. Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, guys. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks.
Okay. Thanks.